This week, I thought we would talk about hiring new staff. And it always feels to me like you're sort of jumping off the cliff into the abyss, committing to a person both ways, the homeowner to the private service professional and vice versa, that you're getting married without knowing each other really well. So I 100% recommend doing a 90-day trial. And specifically for those of you who are thinking about relocating for this position, what before you call the movers, before you sign a 1-year lease, um, and relocating into a new town, put together a 90-day trial period so that everybody has a chance to flush out who this person is, who this new person is in your home, how they're going to work. And then along the way, 90 days should flush out some stressful situations. Everyone gets to see each other maybe when they're tired. And so truer personalities come out so that you can understand how these personalities, which are sort of like one of the most significant uh, points of failure, is people just don't get along. You've got this person in your house that you maybe don't understand. You don't need to be friends, that's for sure. But you want to understand what they're going to do for you, how they're going to improve your life. And this is the best way to do that. So during the 90-day trial, this is the baby step. This is the dating period of employment, where I suggest you outline or have your staff outline, especially if they're a seasoned estate manager or house manager, have them outline what you're going to receive in the 90 days. Now, this is strategic in knowing what kind of person they are, what you're going to get for the money investment, and vice versa. They're going to understand whether they want to move to take your role, whether the money, the salary meets with their expectations of whether how the 24/7 services. Hopefully you're not requiring that of your staff, but what those nuances look like. And most importantly, whether they're going to have control over their personal lives. And realize that if you're texting them after hours, if they are required to pick up their phone, answer any questions outside of an emergency, because that's what estate managers do, that they are working. And not just for those few seconds that they're returning your text or phone call, but if they have to respond, if they have to watch their phone during a dinner date or a movie or a personal event or sleep, they're working. And so be cautious and cognizant of the fact that you need to pay them for that. They need to be compensated for the shuffle and the pivot from their personal lives. And that's a different conversation that we have ongoing here. But today, let's focus on what a 90-day trial period looks like. Now, I've been asked this recently, and the scenario looks like this. Hey, you're an estate manager new to the property with existing staff, and we're going to have you oversee 5 of our homes, some of which are in construction. How are the first 90 days going to look? What do you feel is important to take care of? And so I would say this. I believe that the first week is sort of a getting to know you phase. Now, absolutely, during that first week or 2 weeks, you want to see all of those properties, because inevitably, when an estate manager steps into that role, they're going to start fielding questions and making decisions on your behalf for those properties. So if they don't see them, if they don't have eyes on those properties in the closets, in the mechanical rooms, in the landscaping, they're not going to be effective at all. The next step that I would say is get those staff members to do one-on-ones with the new estate manager. The estate manager needs to know personalities, tricky situations, difficult relationships, what are the communication challenges, and so on. And the one-on-one, and then tag on team meetings. How do they interact with each other? So these three things should happen in the first week or 2 weeks on every single one of those 5 properties. Then within the first month, from that information, now we're going to take it to a next level. The estate manager needs to work with key contractors, specifically for any home that's in a remodeling or construction or project mode. Who are the key players? Is it a general contractor? Is it an IT guy? Is it security? Whatever, so that they have a point of contact so that they can contact them if something goes wrong, if something's not on schedule, if something's over budget. They need a relationship with those contractors. But aside from that, we're going to start writing the staff and contractor memorandums of understanding. And this is a number one miss that I see on every single property. We need to give everybody the same information about principal preferences, household protocol, and property protection measures that are required to be successful in this home. And realize that some homes need to go over the top with property protection. I've coated driveways with heavy construction paper before so that no tires leave marks on the newly freshly poured concrete. I've done cleanup every single evening when the homeowner lives at home during construction. Contractors need to be aware of what the expectations are, and they need to be able to charge for those services because it's extra hours on their day every day to do a full cleanup and then a full setup the next morning to get back in functionality. And realize that that takes out of their day. So you don't want to push a contractor to pay their employees overtime during this, or your costs are going to go through the roof. So it shortens your construction day, but you're going to get what you want with property protection and full accessibility to your property during that time. You're going to want that estate manager to start providing weekly property summaries. And this is a one-page document that includes what was completed that week, what's ongoing projects, what's coming up next week, anything that is stuck. We're waiting on a part, we're waiting on a decision for you to make. And then any staff updates, who's got vacation time, who's out sick, whatever. And then some pats on the back about what's going really well at each one of the properties. And then beyond that first month, you're going to want your estate manager to start capturing this information. So let's say this person doesn't stay past 90 days. All of that information gained by that estate manager needs to be bundled up in one tidy little system. It can be a Google Drive document folders, but I suggest using an online project management system, Trello, Asana, Monday.com, whatever, so that information and that time was not wasted. It's bundled up in a neat, tidy package, and hopefully the contractor points of contact are included in their housekeeping standards, your signed staff memorandums of understanding and contractors memorandums of understanding. All of that's bundled together. So let's say after 90 days, the estate manager does not come back. When you onboard the next candidate, they don't have to dig so deep. They can hit the ground running with that information that's been collected by that first candidate. And then once you develop, I use Trello, no big secret here. I don't sell Trello systems, but I use that platform for ease of functionality for my lowest tech staff to use on their phone app. But as soon as that system starts collecting information, let's say the housekeeping checklist, you need to onboard staff with that new system so they can start utilizing the checklists, and they can start communicating and tracking project information on that phone app. So that 90 days is a good investment, whether that person works out for you or not. You've gotten something for your money and your risk. You're stepping off the cliff into the abyss with this estate manager candidate. The candidate gets paid for their time. They get to see you during this process. You guys get to determine whether you like each other, whether this is a good fit or not. The communication is key. The feedback is key. But everybody wins at the 90 days, whether that relationship extends beyond the 90 days or not. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope it's helpful.